I'm sorry?
What do you think of the record?
I mean, in light of, I wish it would have come out at a better time, but it's, we're glad that it did come out. Unfortunately, I wish it would have had like some better packaging, a little bit of, it would have been nice if we could have done some shows behind it or done some videos or something to be, to go along with it. It kind of like came out almost just like a bootleg, almost, it's like they replaced the bootleg with another bootleg-looking product, but at least it sounded right, and you guys got to have a decent-sounding record.
With I Walk Alone. Thanks.
How you doing? The Union album was so hard to find when that was first issued, and
Right.
got a quick question too.
Yeah, no, who work real hard, but they don't have the kind of money of, Atlantic or Mercury, they just don't. I mean, I've seen their offices, and they're in little, like, cubicles, and you go to Mercury, and it's in this, like, skyscraper, okay? So you gotta understand that, right? But, well, thank you. But the distributor actually isn't that bad. It's just, it's harder for them to bully product into stores. The distributor is called ADA, which is actually owned by Warner Atlantic, okay? So, and they do a good job, but stores have to be, they don't order as many things from them as, they usually do from Polygram and the other labels. But if you go into stores and you ask for it and you talk about it, they will order it. They won't make you buy it then anyway, so then at least it's stocked, And part of what John and I have been doing for the past like month and a half is traveling with just these acoustic guitars and visiting radio stations, not having it yet. Meanwhile, John's good friends with somebody that works there, so we have to have a little talk with him and figure out what's going on there, But it's word of mouth, man, and I appreciate whoever's got it, that digs it, that's great. And tell 10 friends, and if the store doesn't have it, it doesn't mean that you can't get it. It just might take another week, and the store will order it, and you'll get it, It just takes time.
I got it.
Or not, but
Yeah.
that a lot of the songs are being rejected, like Ace's songs and Peter, a lot of them aren't.
Apparently, I know Ace wrote some things that I heard actually a couple of the ideas were really cool. And apparently they all went back in their corners to write some more. That doesn't mean that riff can't be resurrected and done something to. And I'd be disappointed if Ace obviously didn't have material on the record as long as you guys, okay? So something will happen, but and Gene's correct in what he was saying, that if they write, Gene literally does write a ridiculous number of songs that get rejected, of course. And I know some of the things that Paul caught aren't going on the record, so it's not that uncommon. I think people like to read into it a lot. But unless you're going to hear it straight from Ace or Peter's mouth, they're going to get through this record and they're going to make a good record.
Thanks.
Okay. If it kills them. Yeah.
I really liked your guys' Carnival Souls. I thought it was a brilliant album. I thought it was a shame that it didn't get promoted. My question for you, Bruce, is how is it working with Michael Bolton?
Michael Bolton, yes. For those that don't know, I had a band with him in the real late 70s called Blackjack, which, we were very, very close when we first started working together. And I learned a lot from Michael in the sense of, he always had a couple of key words, like priorities, And the guy was very, very, very hardworking, not unlike Gene and Paul, actually, and would do anything for his career and really fight the battle, one by one. And I respect the guy, and I'm not surprised he's where he is, okay? Because he never gave up, and when the rock thing didn't work, he used to write kind of pop, bluesy, blue-eyed soul, whatever you want to call what he does. And then every housewife fell in love with him, and he became a huge star, So I give him a lot of respect. I don't think he, is real proud of the Blackjack rock era that he did, but, I am. I learned a lot from that, even though I don't think it was my best work, but that's how you learn. You gotta, you can look at things that don't happen and your past and your career as a failure, or they're all successes that lead you on and keep improving you, and that's what Blackjack was for me. And I don't exactly hear from him too often, but when we bump into each other, he's really cool with me. I mean, he's just like, he's on top of the hill, if you know what I mean. I know. No, but some people ask me, it's like, it's kind of funny, but there he is on the Grammys, there he is at the Oscars, I mean, and now he's going to, tour with Winona,
Winona Jones?
Yeah, well, I think he's been doing his daughter or something. Actually, yeah. Keep it in the family there. She's a nice. Yeah, he knows how to hold the mic. Yeah, we're gonna take pictures. We're gonna do.
Okay, you guys rule. Eric, all them years you were, pretty much sticks for hire, traveling before you committed to KISS. You played with many talented acts, and then you finally committed to KISS. Are you ready to commit to another group?
Well, we'll see. I mean, I got to find the right situation. But yeah, I wouldn't mind getting into something again, you know, where I could sink my teeth into it.
We're looking
But
forward
it's
to
got to be
hearing
the right thing, you know. I got to feel passionate about what I'm doing, you know.
Eric and Bruce, what would happen in the future maybe if Kiss decided to take off the makeup and maybe just, you know, have you guys in again? Would you be willing to rejoin Kiss?
You know, you never say never. Just like Gene and Paul said, they always would say never say never about doing a reunion. I mean, they always kept telling you guys for all these years, oh, we're not going to do that, there's no need to. But they always would say never. And of course now, then we know what they did. So, I mean, that's the way you got to look at life. Take it one day at a time, and you cross that bridge if and when you get to it.
So
because you never know what might be happening. You know, let's say 2 years hypothetically down the road, Bruce could be like really solid and happy with his union band and say, hey, you know, I got my own thing. I don't want to go back to doing that. There's no need to do that. So you don't really know, you know.
But
Yeah, I mean, I
even though you left a band
was
that...
hanging out with my boys. No, you know, they're all really cool with us. And he comes over to me and he goes, you know, I got a makeup guy for you. He said, you could be the Badger. They're nasty mothers, you know. And he was describing like I'd have like little stripes around my eyes or something. I'm like, oh boy, what glue is he on, you know? But you know, the fact that he even was thinking about it for me, I was flattered, of course. You know, he's a great singer actually.
They're selling over there, and I also did the double lead vocal on Love Her All I Can with Carl, but I also did lead vocals on this Rod Stewart tribute album. I did a song called Let Me Love You, which is an old Jeff Beck group song. It's kind of an obscure song, so it wouldn't be recognizable, but I'm starting to kind of like try to work on doing a little more vocal kind of stuff.
Yeah, I didn't sing any leads on the Union record, but there is a bonus track on the Japanese release that I sang lead on. So you know, the domestic one, it's not there. It just was a little different than the rest of the record, and you know, as far as I was concerned, John sings great, and I just wanted to feature him on that. But I'll probably do I Walk Alone, you know, that kind of stuff. We just got to figure out how to do the backwards section, you know. We'll turn around. Yeah, I play it backwards.
For Bruce, I was wondering, now that you have a new band, would you actually consider opening for Kiss for the next tour?
Hey, I'd love to do that. I don't want to presume something.
First of all, thanks again for the autographs. These are great.
Cool. All right.
Bruce, in the book Kissery, there was something in the comics section where they were talking about the biography, and they were telling a story about where you were stuck on stage because Paul was in the back having a little fun.
Oh,
what show actually did it happen to, and did you really grab Gene's bass and start wailing away on it?
Yes. I don't know what show it was. Someone else would have to tell me. I bet someone here probably knows. I think it was on the Asylum tour, Asylum. I think part of it, I'm not sure if Paul was just having fun with a woman or having fun with me by leaving me out there, you know. But it kind of freaked me out a little bit, and I had all this adrenaline, all this, you know, kind of anger, frustration type thing that I just like kind of like grabbed Gene's bass instead. And he didn't know what to do, you know. He's looking at me like, you know. And it was kind of funny, but I just had to blow off some steam because, as our Kiss shows usually, even though they look very relaxed, they're actually very well planned because you need to be between the pyro and the lights and sound crew that will carry. So to suddenly, you know, if I have a solo planned out that's like X amount of time and suddenly it's tripled, you know, I'm out there, it's like hanging without a rope, you know, and I'm falling, you know. So I didn't appreciate that, but you know, we always have little practical jokes with each other on occasion.
And one more thing, what do you think about these autobiographies that are coming out, written by, you know, the biographies that are coming out like Kiss and Sal, Kiss and Tell?
Right. I've only glanced at a few of them, you know, and some of it's true and some of it isn't. You know, it's going to be their, you know, their vision or what they heard. You know, look, it's a fascinating band to read about. I've read The Star and The Inquirer too, so you know, you know, you know, you're not going to see a book from me because I'd rather, you know, I know what my memories are, and I don't mind sharing it with you guys, but I'm not into like really like putting it down in paper. It just doesn't seem that. I'd rather write music and do music, you know.
Enjoy, you know, we're here, we enjoy being around all you people, and you guys should enjoy each other. You know, you guys all have something in common. That's what's cool about it. So we just take things one day at a time, and you know, I have to admit, at least one thing I was feel really good about, at least Gene and Paul were respectful enough to sit down with us face to face and say, hey, this is what we're doing. And then when they decided to say we're going to stay in makeup, they sat down face to face with us. They didn't have a lawyer or some manager send us a fax. I mean, I've heard people getting fired that way, coming home from a tour and having a fax on the machine saying, you're fired. you know? Or having some manager, I've been fired before where a manager called me and said, hey, you're fired. You know, the guys in your own band don't tell you. So that was, to me, they did the right thing. They were, they were like diplomatic and like men about it, and that's the way you're supposed to be. So that made it soften the blow, I think, a little bit, at least for me. All right,
Oh, yeah.
we flew down, okay, Paul had met these people that were very wealthy. They lived in Albuquerque, New Mexico, and they said, my sister's getting married. We'd like to have Kiss play at the wedding. So they flew us down, all of us, our girlfriends and wives, on a little Learjet, and flew us down and picked us up. They were really cool. They picked us up, treated us like, first class, everything.
Charlton Heston read the ceremony.
Yeah, at the ceremony at the church, Charlton Heston read from the Bible. They had this big symphony orchestra up in the loft playing, and it was this giant wedding. They had a big 15-piece band, and then we set up at the other end, like a stage like this, and we did Forever, and they had like a little string section playing it. So we're dressed like in suits, playing at Kiss songs at this wedding, and it was really, that was really trippy. And the funny thing is, after the wedding, 3 months, I think they were divorced 3 months later.
Yeah.
They owned the hotel where the wedding reception was at. I mean, they had a big tent that was added onto the ballroom to accommodate all the guests that was out in the parking lot. It was like this really elaborate, expensive thing. And then, 3 months later, Paul goes, yeah, you got the board.
How much did you spend on the costume? Wow, really? That's not too bad, actually. What's up, man? That's a little close, man. You don't want to see that? I look like Tammy Faye Baker.
She said, love, I don't need it anymore. She said, love, lies in pieces on her floor. Love, I don't need you anymore. She said, perfect in her mind. Make believe the author of a story where the ending always turns out right. So she takes a drag of a cigarette with her head in her hands. She keeps on asking why. Oh, the bad luck comes as good love goes. Climb up a river, but the river's about to run dry.
There you go. We all know who this man is. Animated. That's right. Good to see you. Nice to be seen. All right. Yeah. Cool. I don't know.
On, I believe the Renaissance Records out of Nashville. I just found this out. The original drummer called me up and said the record's going back out again. So that you can hear some stuff there. I didn't really do any lead singing. They didn't want me to sing too much. Plus I was only 23 at the time. And see, I sang backups on Ted Nugent's Penetrator record. That's how I ended up playing with Nugent for a while. As far as any other big names, there's probably it'd be hard pressed to find anything. I mean, I'm real surprised.
I mean, the things he said.
Yeah, that is unreal.
Incredible.
Got his Ace Antone and myself putting in a record.
Right. There's the guy.
That was fun, wasn't it? We're going to give away some stuff right now after I've been lashed. Everybody are great dealers here. I hope everybody has gotten around to all the dealer tables as I have tried.
Alrighty then. Hear that, right? Yeah, I'll give Eric a second to get his stuff together there. So this is just going to be a little, if it's a little loose, bear with us, because yeah, we're just having fun. We're going to bring up a few guests.
Where's John?
All right, let me introduce that. What one are we doing? Rock and roll! Yeah. So here's a version of a song from Led Zeppelin 3 called Out on the Clouds. No one's going to sing it, but you know, it's got so many great riffs, nobody asked it. So here we go, Out on Top.
Play slow, right?